What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. And sadly, the Phillies, they dropped Game 2 in Atlanta by a score of 5-1, a very uneventful game from the Phillies' offensive perspective. There was a lot of unluckiness on the same side, too. You get some sharp liners that are just going right off the backs of the pitcher and the Braves defense, obviously not imploding on themselves like they did last night, which I was not expecting to happen to be the case. And they were making some nice plays, Cody Clemens, bang bang play at first base. Phillies tried the challenge, it didn't get overturned and everything like that. And really I'm not saying like the offense didn't have their chances. The offense definitely did have their chances throughout the game. They went 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Overall, they had 7 hits tonight. And if you're looking at the Braves side, they really didn't have that many chances with runners in scoring position either. They went 1 for 4 in their case, left 6 runners on base. But, extra base hits are the killer, and the home run ball was the killer once again for the Braves side, as Ranger Suarez just wasn't sharp again. Just was not sharp again. And is it time to panic about Ranger Suarez? I would say no, because I feel like Ranger Suarez is 100% way better than what he's been providing us lately. And maybe you can just say that he was overdue with how fantastic he has been pitching this season, to where he's having a sub-2 ERA, to where he's due for a couple of bad games in a row. But I do think I saw Todd Zalecki post that this was the first time in Ranger Suarez's career that he's allowed, in back-to-back games, 5+ earned runs. So yeah, Ranger definitely is in a down spurt right now, and I'm not sure if it's just fatigue with the amount of innings that he's been throwing, honestly, because this could honestly be the most amount of innings that he's thrown to start a season before, so that could be an effect right there. And I don't know, is the injury that he sustained against the St. Louis Cardinals, the injury to the hand, is that finally affecting him? So there definitely could be a lot of ramifications. Could be a little bit of dead arm, going into the All-Star break. That can also be the case right there. So I'm not saying Ranger Suarez is going to be in a drastic decline and he's going to be bad the entire second half. No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. It's just that, Ranger right now definitely 100% is not the best version of Ranger Suarez that we have seen this year. And, allows the home run to Marcell Ozuna with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. A lot of home run to Ozzy Albies. So Albies has been killing you this series, and just a lot of hard contact. Just a lot of hard contact in the past 2 games for Ranger. That's the bottom line here in his outings, and he just hasn't looked himself. He just doesn't have that same confidence, doesn't have that same feel out there on the mound right now. And I am confident that Ranger can find a way to get that back, because he's proven it to us many times this season. So I'm not worried about that aspect. I think right now it's just the fact that he wasn't going to keep up a sub-2 ERA for the entire season, and maybe that's finally catching up to him a little bit in these past couple of games. So we'll see what happens. I believe he does have one more start before the All-Star break, and I do believe that's against the Oakland Athletics, if I'm not mistaken. So, that'll be his last start before the All-Star break, and I doubt he's going to be in the All-Star game, if all things considered at this point. So we'll wait and see. If we look at Rangers' entire stat line for today's game, 5 innings, 6 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. 91 pitches there. His ERA is up to 2.58. Ball was just hit hard. The Braves, they had what? They had 2 doubles, 2 home runs, so they had 4 extra base hits. They had 6 hits in total, and 4 of their 6 hits were extra base hits. The Phillies bullpen comes in, and they basically shut things down from there. Ruiz, he pitched a solid 1-2-3 inning with 6 pitches. Gregory Soto continues to be fantastic, 2 strikeouts there on 20 pitches. And then Serafty Dominguez struck out the side in his bottom of the 8th inning right there. And if you look at the side for Schwellenbach, this is probably one of his best starts in a while. 6 innings, 7 hits, and 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts on 81 pitches, and his ERA drops to 5.02. The Braves bullpen came in, shut things down as well. So really, the Phillies, like I said, I think there was a little bit of unluckiness on the offensive side of the ball. But overall, you just weren't hitting that much. And, granted, with the lineup scoring 8+ runs yesterday, I guess there wasn't a choose-to for a quiet game the next day. So, like I said, with this version of the lineup, they're not going to score 8 runs every single night. That's just not going to happen. That is just not going to happen whatsoever. So, that was just the case for this game. And tomorrow's definitely going to be even tougher because the pitching matchup definitely does not favor you. You got Mercado making his second big league start, and you're going up against Lopez, who has a sub-2 ERA. And like I said, it's a lot of pressure on Mercado to try to go out there and win a series for the boys, so the offense really does have to show up tomorrow. Excuse or no excuse. Even though going into this series, I believe we do have a voicemail here that brings up, the series as a whole. In the grand scheme of things, losing 2 of 3 to the Atlanta Braves isn't the biggest deal in the world. You've given yourself that big of a gap in the division lead to where maybe you can afford this. And also, granted, you're not fully healthy. Granted, also, the Braves are not fully healthy, but they feels like they have more of a healthy lineup than you do at this point. It's more deeper and fleshed out than the Phillies is right now without Schwarber, JT, and Bryce Harper. So there's also that in the mix. And what Trey Turner has been doing basically this entire week, he's eventually going to have a quiet day. He had 1 hit in today's game. That was the lone RBI for the Phillies. So there's that. And Castellanos, he's been a little bit quiet this series. He's had a few hits in the past couple of games, but nothing really dramatic from that sense. But like I said, when you're just not getting that many chances, when the lineup's this depleted, and when you get the final, opportunity of scoring those 8+ runs yesterday, granted, the Braves defense last night did help you out in that case. It just, you're not going to do that every night with this version of the lineup. And the Braves, they took advantage of a Ranger Suarez that hasn't been himself in the past couple of starts, honestly, since the start that he had it against the Detroit Tigers. Maybe that was the start that started throwing his confidence off a little bit, because he just doesn't have that same feel out there right now. He doesn't have that same vibe. Right now, the vibes with Ranger, they just don't feel the same. They just don't feel the same right now. And maybe that changes over with time with Ranger. But, and like I said, I am confident that he'll be able to find that confidence again. Maybe he just takes an all-star break. Maybe it takes a little rest and relaxation for Ranger Suarez to get that back, even though he does have one more start before the all-star break happens. So we'll see what happens before that start even happens. So it's a little bit of ways here. But like I said, tomorrow is definitely, I would like to win the series tomorrow, but still, it does not favor you. And there's also a chance the game doesn't get played either. I've checked the weather. It's been raining the past couple of days in Atlanta, and I think the weather is basically the same as it has been the past couple of days. Chances for thunderstorms. And tomorrow, I think it is an afternoon game. And for the weather in Atlanta, from last time I saw, tomorrow for Atlanta, it is 89 degrees and a 60% chance of thunderstorms. The weather during the daytime, mostly cloudy skies during the morning, followed by thunderstorms in the afternoon, chance of rain 60%. And then once you get to nighttime, scattered thunderstorms in the evening with a few showers possible late, chance of rain 50%. So it's going to, it's that time of the year where it's humid, especially in the South. Rain can basically just pop in and pop out at any moment. And right now it's doing that in Atlanta. So we don't even know if this game is going to get played tomorrow. I think it will at the end of the day, because that's just been, the weird thing with the weather in the Phillies this year. When it looks like it's going to thunderstorm and all that stuff, it's most likely you would think the game is going to get canceled. But no, they find a way to play the game, and they're probably going to find a way to play the game tomorrow, regardless of the rain or anything like that. The Phillies do have a day off tomorrow. I'm not sure if the Braves do. So, no, not tomorrow. They have a day off on Monday. I'm not sure if the Braves have a day off on Monday or anything like that. Honestly, let me look at their schedule just to see the case right there. I don't think they have a day off on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. No, they don't. They don't have a day off on Monday. They play a 4-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona. So the Braves schedule going into the All-Star break is 4 games in Arizona and 3 games in San Diego. So we'll see how that goes for them. So definitely, if tomorrow's game were to get postponed or, everything like that, they'll probably schedule it for a future date for the next series that is in Atlanta or something like that. I wouldn't be shocked if the game gets postponed tomorrow just to play it safe, but I also wouldn't be shocked if the game somehow gets played, because that's just the weirdness of Mother Nature, where it says, oh, maybe it says one thing, but that one thing doesn't happen. Or it's scattered thunderstorms, but the thunderstorms don't happen near where the Braves are playing in their ballpark. So it's one of those weird things. But if we want to look at just the way this game went out, bottom of the first inning, Jarred Kelenic hit a ground rule double, then Ozzie Albies brought him home with a single. Ranger Suarez was able to get Riley and Olsen to strike out, but then Marcell Ozuna just crushed one to center field on the first pitch. And honestly, I don't even think it was a bad pitch by Ranger. It was a off-speed pitch. I believe it was a curveball or a slider that was down and inside. Marcell Ozuna just golfed it out to center field, so it was a good swing by him. So it becomes 3-0 Braves in the first inning. Phillies, they have a chance in the top of the second inning after Marsh leads off with a single. Then Cody Clemens leads off with a single. He tried to stretch it to second base, but nothing happened there, and he got thrown out. And I believe the Phillies did try to challenge this, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember if they did, but Marsh was on third base. Marchand was not able to drive him home. Top of the third inning for the Phillies, Rojas reaches in on an infield single. Stott reaches in on an infield single. Then Trey Turner drives in Rojas to put the Phillies on the board. Sadly, Bohm flies out the center. I thought he got all of it, but sadly it died right before it got to the warning track, so nothing happened there. Then Marsh struck out with 2 runners on. Bottom of the third inning, a 1-2-3 there for Ranger Suarez. Top of the fourth, 2-out single by Marchand. Nothing happens. Bottom of the fourth, Ranger did manage to get out of a jam in this inning. A leadoff walk to Olsen, and then a double by Ozuna to center field. Made it second and third with 2 outs. Strikes out Murphy, strikes out Duvall, intentionally walks Arcia to get the White, and then White pops up to end the inning. So Ranger managed to get out of that situation with no outs unscathed. But then the Phillies go down 1-2-3 in the top of the fifth, and then in the bottom of the fifth, Kelenic leads off with a single, then Ozzy Albies hits the 2-run shot to make it 5-1. So that's basically all she wrote there. Nothing really going on the rest of the game. Top of the sixth inning, Castellanos had a 2-out single. Then he moved the second on a wild pitch. Nothing happened there. Then the Phillies bullpen did their thing, and the Braves bullpen basically did their thing. And that was the rest of the game. The rest of the game went by fairly quickly at the end of the day. So, like I said, really not much going on with this game. At the end of the day, not much really happened. Offensively, Ranger Suarez wasn't his best version of himself. And it was just one of those instances. You scored 8+ runs yesterday. You didn't score really much tonight. So I would really like to see a series win tomorrow. That will definitely make the vibes better for Phillies fans, even though the vibes should be down to begin with. But it's just like so many people were focused on these 2 series upcoming with the Braves and the Dodgers. And it just sucks to see that you don't have a fully healthy lineup. But I think it would say a lot about this Phillies team if you could find a way to beat the Atlanta Braves when you don't have a fully healthy lineup. So they need to find a way to win tomorrow, even though, like I said, I don't think losing a series to the Braves right now is the end of the world, especially with the lead that you have in the division. The Dodgers series definitely is going to be crucial, though, to find some wins, and you are going to be getting bodies back during that Dodgers series, which is definitely helpful in that aspect. Schwarber, they showed Bryce Harper running today, so it does look like they're on track to be coming back very soon. Schwarber Tuesday, that's when Rob Thompson said he's expected to be activated back into the lineup, and then Bryce Harper is going to be sometime after that. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But like I said, really not much going on with this game. Really not much going on with this game. That's just basically it. Just basically it right there. Man. Man. Sucks they couldn't find a way to pull it out. Would have loved to get Ranger back in some confidence right there. You know what I mean? Would have liked it. But sadly, that just wasn't the case. So let's get to the Anytime Hotline right here. Let's get to this one voicemail before we close it off. Not many people in the stream. So we'll get to this voicemail, then we'll end it off. Not many people in the live chat either. So let's do it. Let's get to Sean, see what he has to say.
Well, this was definitely ugly from start to finish and all points in between. Just not your night on offense when you're hitting balls on the nose off the pitcher and they deflect to the shortstop who makes an off-balance throw for an out. Not your night when Cody Clemens hits a double but can't stay on the bag on the slide and gets thrown out. Just not your night all around offensively. But, of course, the main takeaway from this game is what's wrong with Ranger. I don't know if anything is physically. I think there is, but I'm not a doctor. Hopefully it can be something maybe as simple as, hey, he's just not comfortable pitching to Stubbs or Marchand. He really misses working with JT. But there is something obviously not right there. The fastball isn't as fast. the change-ups and the curveball just aren't there. Maybe it's just dead arm, but definitely something that's cause for concern if you're a Phillies fan right now. Going to be in a tough spot tomorrow. The matchup favors Atlanta. I fully expect Atlanta to win tomorrow. But like I said, the Phillies got the one game that they really needed to get. As bad as it is, you come back home, granted against the Dodgers, but you are getting Schwarber back, and we always seem, of course, to play better in our park. Got a shot to win tomorrow. Let's see what Mercado does.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Mercado does. It's just a lot of pressure on the kid, and I kind of feel bad for him in that situation. But, sometimes, you see the best in people when the pressure is at the highest. So we can see what, Mercado has for tomorrow. Maybe the Braves have an off day because they have nothing on Mercado's book, and maybe he uses that to his advantage, or the Braves crush him. It's basically one of the two things. Or he gives you a quality start, and your offense just needs to find a way to hit Lopez. Because if you're looking at Lopez's numbers, Reynaldo Lopez, that is, he's 6-2 with a 1.83 ERA. He's been the best pitcher so far for the Atlanta Braves. And basically so far, in his last start against the Giants, he allowed 2 earned runs and 2 home runs right there. They lost that game 5-3. But really, if you're just looking at all of the starts right now, he hasn't had a start where he's allowed more than 3 earned runs. And that start where he allowed 3 earned runs was against Seattle Mariners on April 30th. So basically, since then, it's either 1 earned run, 0 earned runs, or 2 earned runs. Only allowed 3 earned runs once. And that's basically it. So it's definitely going to be a tough competition. It doesn't look like he goes deep in the ball games. His deepest ball game this year was 7 innings, and that was against the Marlins on the 24th of April. And basically, since then, it's been 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 4 2/3, 4 1/3. So you can definitely get his pitch count up there. He does look like he gets into trouble with walks. So maybe you can use that to your advantage if that's the case. But still, it's going to be a very tough game tomorrow regardless. Going to be a very tough game tomorrow regardless. Like Sean said, the matchup does not favor you. So we'll definitely see what Mercado is made of. But the lineup does have to hit tomorrow. The lineup does have to figure out a way to win it for Mercado. That's basically it there. So, what are you going to do? And yeah, to Rangers Suarez's point, maybe it could be as simple as he's the one that's affected most by not having JT behind the plate. Maybe it could be that. Maybe it could be dead arm. Maybe he could be just, regressing a little bit to, to where he's not always going to pitch with a sub-2 ERA. There could be an implement of factors. I don't think it's health-wise. Maybe it could be, like I said, maybe it could be that hand that's finally starting to affect him when he got hit by that comebacker against the Cardinals a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. All I know is he just hasn't looked like himself the past couple of games. That's basically what it is. So until he finds himself, right now there's a little bit of a question mark hanging about Ranger Suarez's head. I'm confident that he could find himself again. It's just a matter of when. Just a matter of when. Maybe he needs the All-Star break. Maybe he just needs his next start against the Athletics. Because, like I said, I do think his next start is due against the Athletics. Yep, it's the first game of the Athletics series. It definitely is. Yep, first game of the Athletic series. And also, here's some things right here. If people were expecting Zack Wheeler to pitch in the All-Star game, it doesn't look like he'll get that chance because he's pitching the final game in the Athletic series. And I think normally pitchers who pitch the day before or 2 days before the All-Star break, and they're selected to the All-Star team, normally they do not pitch in the All-Star game. So most likely we'll not be seeing Zack Wheeler in the All-Star game, if that's the case. Yeah. Really nothing else from this game. All you can do at this point is pray to the gods that you win tomorrow. Pray to the gods that you win tomorrow. That's basically it there, because it is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know, maybe Mother Nature interrupts it, and they find a way to postpone the game, and they delay it to a future date. Maybe that could be the case. But, pray to the gods that you win tomorrow. That's basically it there. So, we'll see. We'll see. So, more of a quick hitter tonight, everybody. Really not much happening with this game, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, thanks, guys, for tuning into tonight. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Thanks.